I'm going to YouTube through the laptop, but also through the cell device. So we'll be able to compare like which one does better. Okay, and then I'll just tell the Telegram people. I'm able to measure how long it took me to set this up. So that's what's happening. Starting. Okay. Okay. All right, what's up, everybody? Thank you for giving me your time, lending me your ears. Let's click record here just for posterity. Plus, sometimes I say good shit, so it's good to record. Hey, everybody. I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga, PhD in my own right, and streaming to you from IMC headquarters in Las Vegas. What we have coming up are a series of gatherings. I found it was best to give people a heads up for the dates because a lot of guys have moved to Las Vegas. So 26 individuals, men, live in 6 different houses here, can't hear a thing on your Facebook stream. Oh, fuck. Thanks, Kingpin. I just got it. So the microphone's on now. Jesus. Okay. But I am streaming on other platforms too. So shout out Facebook and shout out Kingpin, who's one of the 26 men who have moved to Las Vegas, where IMC is now headquartered. And then some rearranging of people living situations. Now we have headquarters, base 2, base 3, base 4, and base 7 actually has been assimilated into the... Anyway, we have 7 bases, 7 bases. There's a create content house that's essentially base 7 now. But there's other guys around the country. Playboy Yogi, that's right. What's up, Sosa? At some point, maybe you want to tap in and tell us about the sales training and just really your immersion. Sosa, man, what a story. Guy's been talking to this guy for like years. Finally came back around. He's been through his own life journeys and whatever. Still more to come. Still a young guy, as we all are, really. And Draco, what's up, man? Okay, back to the subject at hand. So it's better for guys to plan their schedules to, they got to get an air ticket, airline. They got to, rearrange their work schedule. Like Armando Vargas just showed up. Shout out Armando. He's here as residency. This is one of the advanced offerings now. And I was torn, actually. What is the difference between a boot camp or a gathering, as it's now called? It was originally called boot camps. The little IMC history guys for you. And I'm like the historian of IMC. It used to be called boot camps. That was like a colloquial, nostalgic term from the early days of pickup. That obviously they took it from military boot camps, like a crash course in something to see if you're tough enough to, hang. Because ultimately, pickup masters are looking. Here's a secret, everybody. You ready? Masters of pickup, are looking for wingmen. They're looking for wingmen. They do it by finding high-level alpha men out in the world that can conduct themselves around high-value people that maybe have networks that they can introduce you as a reference to or bring you into parties. Like master pickup artists are looking for wings. And naturally, people want to learn the game from them. What are you saying, Sosa? I wouldn't mind what I thought about sales program. Hell yeah. So I see your request, sent a request. Let's go ahead and I'll have you join. And guys, we'll get back to the subject in a second. So we'll just go for like a minute. If you want, we could do podcasts together. Yeah, as we do the episodes. The podcasts are going to get better here. As Kingpin helps get the equipment right with us, Master Pyro's giving his input, and I know a little bit, 1 second, Sosa, about what to do. I want to interview. I'm one of the 26. There's 25 other guys here now that have deep, close experiences with AZD in person. When we're out, we see just unreal things. And we need to talk about it and be the messengers of it to the world. And so with the right equipment, we're going to set up a set downstairs. I want to be the Howard Stern of IMC Nation. I want to interview the 25 guys, even if I just do one a day and take 1 day off a week. That's a new person every day of the month. Every month we could check back in with that individual. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that's what the schedule would be, but just for example, every day of the week, pretty much, you'd get, and I have a way of talking. I mean, I'm lecturing with you now, but asking questions will really bring the depths of the information out. It'll be great. And everybody gets better. Everybody learns a lot. Oh man, I'm so excited for that. So that'll happen any day now, really. So we'll get back to that. Right now, we have Sosa, a.k.a. Not Your Speculator, on Instagram. We're streaming on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Zoom. And so Sosa, I met over the internet, Instagram, years ago, I believe, and we were messaging back and forth. He kind of came in and out of my reality, in and out of existence for me. He was like one of those quarks out in the middle of the vacuum of space that would manifest as a proton for an instant and then go back out as a nothing, a potential, and then back as a proton or a neutron, and then back. But now he's fully condensed into matter in my universe, and he joined the daily mastermind. Quickly, he saw the value, wanted the sales program, joined the sales program. We've done 3 or 4 lectures now, and so we'll tap in with him for a couple minutes and see, how the journey's been and what we can discover. What's up, Sosa? Oh man, you're connected to the. I'll tell you, I have this shotgun mic that's connected to this phone, and so I don't hear him. So I'm going to unplug this shotgun mic just to hear you, because the microphone on this iPhone isn't so good. Shout out, I need a new backup iPhone. My better iPhone's over here. And then I'll have to plug it back in because you won't hear my volume so well because the microphone is not good on this phone. So that's why I plug in the external mic. So let's go back. Okay, Sosa, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Yogi Chris? Thank you for I thought you wanted to do a podcast better. If you wanted to do that, maybe we could talk about
when you're in person. Let's do that. Right now, I was just going to tap in with you for a minute about your thoughts on Mastermind and your thoughts on the sales class.
Yeah, so Mastermind is good. Mastermind is a mix of everything that AZD offers. It's it's a lot. It's more seduction. It's all about the mind, but seduction, sales. You can put your questions. I really appreciate that about AZD and letting you ask questions.
Yeah.
He takes his time. The sales program, if you're not on the sales program, and you're a salesman, I don't know what they're missing out, you Chris.
Why? Well, because the thing is, and the challenge I faced, and now I'll build it out because he hadn't taught sales in a long while. It's not like a common offering. So the regular audience is not really accustomed to like AZD teaching sales. And then the new audience who sees AZD, and rightfully so, as a seduction artist, a relationship master, a relationship coach, whatever, pickup, that stuff, dealing with women, don't see him as a sales coach. And so bringing that reality to people, what can you say about that? I mean, was it a surprise that he brought a sales program out? And then what was that like for you to decide to do that?
No, I always see because I'm going to talk about it, but it doesn't matter. See, I'm on antidepressants right now, and that one of the side effects is that my interest towards women right now has decreased a lot. But when I did my Skype session with AZD back in 2017,
yep, 7 years ago,
I had money, but I didn't have enough money for the Skype call, so I put it on a credit card.
Yeah.
And I did everything possible, any way, shape, or form, to get this money out. And
yeah,
this is Instagram Live, so I don't know if this is going to be recorded later on.
It is posted, so don't say anything you don't want posted. Yeah. Also, I'll say that most people, because this is already like 10 minutes into it, so most people don't listen past the first 5 seconds. If they do listen up to this point, they're probably a sincere IMC guy.
I see. So anyways, I got the money, and when I went into the Skype session, I remember AZD saying in Diamond Mind that sales and seduction is the same thing, and that's how I got into sales, was because of seduction.
Diamond Mind was a program years ago, and Sosa was a part of that.
And I remember you being a part of it too, because
yes, sir.
You've been around forever.
There's some guys that have been around longer, but I was definitely around when that program started.
And that program, to me, changed my
Me too.
life.
Me too. Every program has. Literally.
Exactly.
No bullshit.
Yes, absolutely. I have to give AZD credit for that. He's the one that took me out of depression. He was the one that took me out of a sadness that when my best friend died, and he was the reason why I am able to get out of situations. AZD is like, and I told this to Sultan.
My other housemate who lives with AZD, Sultan.
I told him during my orientation call, I was like, AZD is like a brother that when you're in a situation,
yeah,
a brother that's gone, that left a Bible, of information on the mind and how to take care of certain situations.
That's true.
And that's what I felt about
Yeah.
Diamond Mind.
Yeah, he's big bro, definitely. And in the big bro in the philosophy and the science and the art of using your mind. And you use your mind for everything. You use your mind to pick up the girl, to hold a relationship down, to win a better position at your job, to close a deal, to have a good relationship with your parents, to have a relationship with yourself when you're by yourself. A lot of people go crazy when they're just by themselves, talking to themselves, because their mind is polluted with wrong ideas that just echo in them if they're not interacting with the world. You know what I mean?
The Q&A part of Diamond Minds, for me was one of my favorites, and I wish there was more Q&A, which I believe there will be. I have a feeling there will be. You know, AZD is a busy guy, and I understand.
Yeah, the Q&A listen is really, I mean, if you had been here last night, we had to stop recording at some point. Anybody that was on the stream, there was some point at the end last night where AZD's like, let's stop so we can really talk some shit. There was like 2 or 3 hours we're just hanging out. A lot of the questions get answered when your vibe raises, and your vibe will raise when you're around, because we've created a ecosystem inside of our bases that's very conducive to our philosophy and our way of being. It's not like that out in the world. You're going to be an alpha dude out and anywhere you go. Go to the market, go to the mall, go to the social venue, go to anywhere, go to your parents' house, go to the park. The park is really the safest place because you're away from people. Like, to be your masculinity, but inside of our bases, go man. So, you know, that vibe when you come around, a lot of your questions get answered by the beingness. But then any other questions you have or new questions you get, you just ask in dialogue. You get a lot of personal time. You know, when we're at the round table, now you got to have courage, because it already takes courage to speak in the round table. Whether there's 4 guys, 10 guys, sometimes there's up to 17, 18 IMC guys around a fucking little ass table at one of these lounges. And we somehow make it work. It's funny how we pack into the elevator. It's similar. It's like, because we all, man. But you may ask your question in front of the group. Or you find a moment here or there. Or you can ask the questions online too. You know, you'll have to push your question through. You just without being uptight about it. If it doesn't get answered, remember it. You got to get it through somehow, because it's difficult to get a question in edgewise. You know.
Well, was that a good question that I asked today? Because I appreciate you answering that question for me.
I think it was all right. Yeah, it was a good question. The reason how I think about it is, I feel like I could have answered the question, but I also think you weren't seeking my level of answer to that question. You have the opportunity to ask AZD his level of answer, so I can appreciate that. At the same time,
I would ask you the same question.
Honestly, yeah.
Because AZD's an ethical man, and
sure.
I was in sales.
What's up, Silver Swords?
When I was in sales, I know there was these gatekeepers. They call them gatekeepers.
I know. I get it. I got the question. I'll give you my answer. And yeah, honestly, as I look at it more as you're asking, I think, yes, it was a good question. And it was fun to get it in and ask him. You know, I'm getting better at these streams right now, so it's fun. So his question in the sales program, and then I may have one more question for you, then I'll finish my points over here, because I got to finish the stream up.
Yeah, you got to do your thing. No worries.
Yeah. So, in the sales class, you were asking about the gatekeeper. Should I approach the gatekeeper as if I already know the boss? And I can see why that would change your tonality, demeanor, this and that. The Wi-Fi cut out here. Really, that's what I was looking at. It looked funny. So that's funny to me. But it's cool that we're on these other apps, because they have their own.
Yo, Chris, can I put my input real quick? What I learned in sales?
Yeah, and real quick, I'm also curious, because I unplugged the shotgun mic. Do you hear me just fine through this device?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
Oh, man. So I didn't even need that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and tell me about the experience.
In my experience during sales, I know that they hire people literally specifically just to not let cold callers get through, and the reason why I asked that question was because in the ethical sense of the word, I would be like, hey, Tony, is John there? Like, I would ask him in a way, it's like, hey, sir, is John there? I want to speak to the owner. Because if I say, I want to speak to the owner, they're automatically going to have a shield and be like, oh, no, like, it's a cold caller. I'm not going to put him, I'm just going to give him the email, and they're never going to answer the email. So I learned in sales that you have to really, in order to speak to the boss, you really have to, like, either...
I get it.
The CRM...
Yeah, I get it, man. I get the whole thing about it. And yeah, I mean, if it works for you, I think that it's all right if you like kind of hold that vibe as if you see it feels fake. And
Yeah, exactly.
the thing is, there's you'll learn more about game when you get here and around here. Assuming familiarity or holding the vibration of familiarity with someone is something you can totally do. But faking as if you know them, you can do that also. And maybe sometimes I would do it, and if it makes sense as a regular practice to say it's a good idea to do, I think that you may come across, it'll come out at some point in your voice, something that it may work against you, and they may end up asking, do you know so and so? And then you'll have to continue the fake and continue the lie or something like that, versus just assuming familiarity. If they ask you, do you know so and so, as if you're honest and you've stayed honest, it'll be easy to continue being honest. And so you would just say something like, no, I don't, I'm from this and that. And I forget, let's say if I was my yoga, that's the only thing I really did cold calling. Oh, do you know? No. My name is Yogi Chris. I travel, I teach high level workshops around the country. And I just wanted a second of her time to see if she's interested in my events, this or that. Now, my script will get better. I haven't done cold calling in 4 years for that. But so that's not the perfect script, but I was honest and offered value in a way that if the gatekeeper prevents me from getting a hold of the decision maker, it's their loss. Don't let that decision maker find out that you prevented me from talking to them, but I got to do my part and be so valuable in my speech that the gatekeeper wants to pass it along. So I could even say, whatever it is, whatever high value things, I was referred by so and so to speak with them about some therapy events for the shoulders, and this or that. Like, so my language will come up. I got to convince the gatekeeper through value.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And very quickly too, because you only have a sentence to really convey. You don't want to, ramble. So
Yeah. Go ahead.
that's my answer. Similar to AZD's, although much wordier. His was like, it's not a set rule for any time. I don't want to say that. It's right now, this class I was teaching tonality on that. So focusing on that lesson, because we got like 15 more lessons, so we keep going.
I love the sales program so far. The sales program is something, I think it's even better than Jordan Belfort's straight line sales. I really do.
And and it's because it comes from that, and the lineage. It's said go and study that. So because it's built on that, because AZD seduction is much more. I mean, it's the genetic code. Relationships, pickup, and seduction is the genetic code. Sales gets close because it's also survival value, and like the influence of sales. How deep are you going to go into a person's core being essence genetically with sales? Versus with seduction, you are definitely going all the way to the root of the DNA. The reason the DNA continues to exist through time, seduction has happened generation after generation after generation. It's in the essence of us as a human. You'd have to go deeper to the spirit to be beyond the mating code. So AZD's influence goes that deep. And so, but using Jordan Belfort's tech, that goes pretty deep, deeper than any other tech on earth as far as sales goes. But how deep does sales go? Pretty deep. It's just not as deep as mating. Mating goes deeper.
I find it funny, Yogi Chris, because there's this joke where it's like it's the salesman that gets most of the women in the office, and I don't know if it's true or not, but that's a joke in other countries. You know what I mean? That the salesman is usually the one because he's the most charismatic one. He's the one speaking to everybody. He knows how to speak and eloquent his words. And he's the one that's talking most of the time because other people are doing either office work or accounting or stuff like that. So
exactly.
I thought it was pretty funny. But I'm planning on stacking some cash and going over there and meeting you and AZD. You know, I have to. And
Yeah.
It's something that I've been planning on doing. I'm going to Portugal right now.
Yes,
So
sir. Right on, man. You're going to Portugal when you come back.
See, that's the funny. I think it's the 28th, the 10th to the 28th. I believe it's 2 weeks. I'm staying over there.
You're making money over there, or just visiting, vacation?
I wouldn't consider vacation. I'm going doing some business stuff too over there. I'm looking at real estate over there.
Yeah. Well, just as soon as you can, man.
Too.
Where are you from? Where do you live in America?
I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, are you looking to visit or move out here?
My dad has a business here, so he wants to.
Are you irreplaceable? Or do you want to inherit that business from him?
That's a good question, Yogi Chris. These are the questions I asked at the night. You know, the questions I ask myself. It's like,
okay, brother, do you work out every day?
I work out 3 times a week, but lately I've been.
And I would even include, okay, on the days you don't work out, do you have a movement practice like yoga?
Well, no, not yoga. I actually do. I walk on the treadmill.
Okay. Do you meditate?
I meditate and self-hypnosis. I was doing that.
Especially meditation, not the self-hypnosis. The self-hypnosis won't help with reflection and releasing stress. And that's what it's going to take to get clear on those questions and answers, to get clear on that. Or whatever else you have a process, journaling, just clearing your head and reflecting on it from an objective point of view, because that'll make it clear. If you're going to go work for your dad, you go all in, make tons of money, and then you travel back and forth to get the trainings, and you form your IMC Nation there. You'll get good enough that people will follow you, and you'll build your network there and build your life around your family and this and that. And versus I recommend obviously as soon as possible come and visit so that you know what you want to do. Because in visiting, you'll see, do I want to move, relocate, change my business, my life, basically, or keep doing what I'm doing? And yeah, visiting as soon as possible, because these vibes, when you upgrade your vibe, not just your information, but you upgrade your vibe, then you receive the information differently. And so you'll get more out of all the online teachings, even if you don't live here, but you've visited and been around and felt it, then that'll change the vibe that you're listening from, and you'll retain information different.
I see what you're saying, yeah, because you do, through the phone, I can just tell your vibrations. You're very zen, very...
Yeah, I'm actually pretty angry. I'm an angry guy. Angry, aggressive. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Yeah. Well, this is my online persona. You know, I'm streaming and it's podcast, and I am pretty zen compared to everybody. But I'm also, it's different. You know, I'm a character. So I'll get back to this because I know people are on the live to hear about the boot camps. So I'm going to just talk about the boot camps.
It was a pleasure speaking.
You too, brother. Yeah, I love giving time to the guys that, you know, are in the program. And that's why guys that have moved to Vegas, I want to podcast with them like an hour a week or an hour a month. Dude, if I could have a 3-hour show and just, because I'm already always talking about IMC. You guys know, if you show up to my stream, you're like, you know that I'm going to be talking about join the daily class, join the advanced class, move out here, come do residency for 2 days, 5 days, a month, whatever it is. Like, yeah, it costs money, but bro, 15, 20 years ago to do a boot camp with Mystery was still going to be $5,000. With inflation, it should be more. But then when you consider the fact that this boot camp could be a whole month, you could live here a whole month. We go out 5 nights a week. The tribe comes over the 2 nights that we don't go out. There's always this social interaction and dynamic. And when you're interacting with a bunch of dudes that are players, it's different than a sausage fest. We carry with us the vibes of our relationships. Our mingling is very tribal, and it awakens the genes in you, a beingness, other things like dinner, groceries, or what. Okay. So I'll have to get off soon because I got to text my grocery list because my girl takes care of everything. I mean, it saves me so much time. You know, it's a good woman that does that, and she should. I mean, what else is she going to do? Like, that's the basic requirements of being a good woman. It shouldn't be such a big deal, but it's so rare to have a good woman. You know what I mean? She doesn't live with me. She takes care of all my grocery needs, so I don't have to take those trips. She cooks for me like a bunch of meals a week, not all of them, but, you know, it saves me a bunch of time. I don't have to cook. Man, massages me. Like, I don't have to go and get massages because she's good. And I was good at massage, so I teach her, I tell her what to do, you know. And it's great. You practice your communication. A lot of people can't receive a massage and talk, or they can't give a massage and talk without losing the quality of massage. You know what I mean? So that level of presence and communication skill is very relevant. I work while she's massaging me or whatever, so I'm keeping multiple communication lines going simultaneously. It's very relevant to what we do. How could you go out and be a social master? Why should she, first of all, why should she, whoever she is, that pretty girl that you want, why should she submit to you and be with you if you're not a social master? If you're not masterful at understanding what people mean when they say, how to influence situations, how to conduct yourself around high value people, why should she submit to you if you can't even do that? So you need to be a social master. And then being a social master, you got to keep communication lines straight, not crossing lines, not tuning one out while you're dealing with one, unless you have to. But that's being a social master, knowing when. And there's levels of mastery. It just keeps going up. So, all right, let's wrap it up. So the gatherings, in the interest of getting like guys like Sosa who live in New Jersey, and it's better to get a plane ticket knowing when, not like the next day because it costs money, costs extra money. So we put out a calendar of events. It's on the website, imcbase1.com/advanced. It's on the advanced page. And, you know, the in-person, the online is also available. So let me tell you what it is. Because many of you are already IMC. So first you should know that AZD is way beyond any pickup coach out there. You just got to look at every dating coach. If it's one of the rare few, like let's say there's 100 pickup coaches that are succeeding. They're actually making a living doing it. 10 of them might actually get pretty girls. Like pretty. I don't think any of them, 0 of them, maybe one, we'll say one, that's AZD, has multiple relationships with very pretty girls. And then the thing is, it's kind of hard to believe. It's unbelievable that the level of if there was another pickup masculinity dating coach, let's say there's 1,000 coaches that are making it, relationship experts, alpha coaches, whatever. 100 of them actually get pretty girls. 10 of them actually have multiple relationships. One of them is succeeding so high because he's got 7 multiple relationships. They're all super fine. None of them talk to any guys at all. It's not open. And he doesn't live with any of them. None of them live with him. He lives with us, and we go out with him 6 nights a week. Every week for years. He's had girlfriends for years. They're just loyal. As far as a loyal woman on earth is. I mean, you're not going to find more loyal. So it's levels upon levels of the next dating coach, whoever second place is, that maybe has a super fine girl, maybe, probably not. Maybe has 2 girls, but they're not that loyal and they're not super fine. That's the next best. So that guy's boot camps is on a calendar that we have for the next 3 months. So you could fly here in person. You'd be out in field with us for 10 hours, 5 hours for 2 nights. 2 different venues each night. Lots of interactions with high-value guys, high-value girls. Your communication will definitely get much better. Much, much better. When you get back to where you're at, everybody who interacts with you is going to notice. You're going to notice immediately. Why did 26 guys move their life across state lines, change their jobs, change their lease, tell everyone, I'm going to move to be with IMC Nation? Live in a base with other guys where they can't just be a goober and have all their weird habits, and that guys are out there. They're just living alone or tucked away in their bat cave and in their parents' house or something, having weird habits. You can't be like that if you're in an IMC base. So they've agreed to be transparent about their life. Why would a grown-ass man submit all that? And that's 26. So that's a lot of guys. And there's a lot more that want to. They just haven't done what it takes to do it, you know? Or they don't have the resources, and then there's a lot more that are looking at it. It's the levels. Just like I said, 1,000 coaches are making it, 100 get pretty girls, 10 have multiple relationships, 1 is so far above all the rest, it's not even close. And that's of the coaches, never mind the students. 10,000 aspiring pickup coaches or whatever around the world. So that's what it is with the student body. There's like 100,000 that are following. They're freeloaders. 10,000 that are interested, getting involved, or purchased a program at some point. 1,000 that are currently involved in practicing IMC pickup coaches or pickup mentality, seduction, relationship students. They're students of it. They're trying to be. 100 of them, they're dedicated, man. They're doing advanced camps. They're doing what it takes. They're hashtagging IMC. 10 of them. 10 of them have, what would be the next level? 10 of them have sacrificed everything. Everything. They're exchanging everything because it's more important than everything else in their life. And so they still accumulate, but if need be, they exchange that for more evolution, for upgrading their life in accordance with the lifestyle. I don't have a nice car or two nice cars because I want to have a nice car. I have nice cars because that's how you win the game. I also win it on levels where I'm detached from having those cars. So there's a non-neediness, a non kind of show-offy vibe because I don't need those. But that's how you play. That's how you win the game spiritually also. So this is IMC tech. It's spiritual movement. And then 1 in 10, well, that's the successor. That's the guy that's going to make it and, take over the movement or be the next messenger or, have the next best result or whatever. And so these camps, you come, there's 10 hours in field. There's about 6 to 7 hours of private exclusive lecture that no one else will hear. And it's always cutting edge. Like I was telling Sosa, every program has been worth it because every program's unique and different. It's not repeating the same stuff. He doesn't repeat his lectures. Sometimes he may say a similar piece of information that, it's been said before. It's relevant again. But it's an evolution. It's at the cutting edge of dynamics between men and women because that's what it is. When you have 7 relationships, you're interacting all the time, you're going out all the time, you're teaching all the time about that subject. You get real deep into it. It really expand your words, how to describe relationships. People don't know how, especially men, they don't know how to describe relationships. Their language is weak. It's limited for what's needed, to succeed with this stuff. So the list of camps is there on the website, imcbase1.com/advanced. Also, there's 2 hours of pickup lecture with the boot camps, which are called gatherings. Oh, I remember I was given history. Boot camps became beast camps when the beast process came out. Beast camps became gatherings. So it's now called the gathering when you come in person, but it's a boot camp, 3 days. So you also get 2 hours of pickup lectures and demonstrations and drills from the pickup coaches that live here. IMC pickup coaches, Eros, Rick, and Shamir. And then also some behind the scenes audios, when I'm with AZD or we're talking that's off camera, but I can record the audio, then you get those. And that's dope. It gives you reality and it changes environments, the noise in the background, and just, it's a different kind of audio. It's very personable. And I think it's very valuable. If I wasn't, that's how I started doing this. When I first started coming around, I would record because I was doing one-on-ones and stuff with AZD, and I would record them and sell them. And I was really surprised that nobody else was doing that. And I did that for years, 4 or 5 years before I started really working with them to fill the events. I was just a student, So thank you for attending. Will there be mind tech in the gatherings? Of course, it's all mind tech, and it's obviously more focused on the pickup and the relationships. There'll probably be some overlap with the sales. He may call the sales guys to also, if they're not attending the gathering, to be there. And it's sacred syntax is what he's teaching. So it's a way of speaking that creates images in people's minds. It influences them. It transfers experience. First, it clarifies your own experience. It's the language that clarifies your own experience much better to yourself. And it's the language that transfers your clear experience to a listener. It's also the ability to listen to their experience, knowing that they don't speak sacred syntax, so they're not talking all precise and everything. So you're discerning what they mean, and you're communicating with sacred syntax. That's what he teaches. The gatherings are more related to seduction and pickup because that's what we're doing. We'll be 10 hours in field, the tribe, but it's what this movement is. Hustlers, kings, they're queens, players, monks. It's that spiritual enlightenment through relationships. It's stepping out of the matrix and the veil of reality that we're all hypnotized into by talking right and understanding language and mindset, and how the mind is diluting and warping our perception of reality. So but that sounds all like, oh, it's so heady. It's so, like, it is. It's relationships. It's networking. It's what to say when you approach a girl. It's what to wear and how to smell. It's all of that. But it's so much more that it's like, you'll get all that basic information just by being around us, asking some questions, noticing, whatever. What's taught is not taught anywhere in books or anywhere else. It's always new and innovative. It is a quantum level of utilizing your imagination and your communication to influence your environment for the women, for the money, for the deals, for the better relationships. So it's relationship coaching, but it's just at such a grand level. It's ahead of its time, really. And so I am bridging that for people by streaming about it, telling you about it. You know what I mean? Okay, everybody on the streams, thank you for attending. Gio was being displayed on my camera over here. And I'll see you all on the next stream on, my stream. So stay tuned. You can tap in, DM me if you want to get access to the Telegram groups where I post about it, and I'll tell you all about this stuff. TikTok, I see you guys are on and active. I don't know if you have commented much. So let me just quickly check. If you got an interesting comment, maybe I'll look at it. Okay, a lot of people joined. TikTok, I'll show you guys an idea. 114 likes, 234 viewers already. And right now, just a couple people watching. You're welcome. Sent you DM. Thanks. You not your speculator. YouTube, everybody. Praise the Lord. Jay Guru Dev. Os.